always. 17104.com.
Welcome, my brothers and sisters, to the Richard James Show on 17104, The Voice. Greetings, my friends, and salutations. You're welcome again to join the Richard James Show. It's kind of dreary outside, but you know, everything has a purpose. The rain has a purpose. The sunshine has a purpose. We couldn't make it without rain. Suppose it just didn't rain. Then you would think, oh, my God, everything would be destroyed. Suppose we didn't have sunshine. So we need it all. It all was a combination of things that brings about what we call life. Now, this is a very, very special month. I think it's the dates are from September 15th to October 15th. Hispanic Heritage Month. We are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And the first thing that I want to say to all my wonderful Hispanic friends in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and in Pennsylvania that have supported and kept my business alive and going. Thank you so much. And boy, when our customers come around, we have a great time. Sometimes we play drums. Sometimes we look at the art, we talk, we converse, and you are appreciated and much love, because I love all people. Our places on this earth, white, black, Hispanic, Native American. And to me, that's the beauty of life, found in its diversity and its multiple cultures, multiple shades that are here on earth. Now, I take a very, very unique approach to Hispanic Heritage Month. A unique, what do I mean? You know, some people get confused about this whole term, Latino, Hispanic. First of all people that are from South America are not Hispanic. They are Latino, but not Hispanic. For example, the largest country in South America, population-wise, is Brazil. And Brazil folks speak Portuguese. They don't speak Spanish. As a matter of fact, the largest population of people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere is in Brazil. Over 100 million people directly of African descent are in Brazil. But all over and in the United States of America, we have a huge Hispanic population and Latino population. And it varies wherever you go within the United States. And the population is growing. At one point in our history, the largest minority group, when I say minorities, that's non-white, because whites are still in the majority in this country. And contrary to popular belief, is my belief that they will continue to be the majority. You can cut up the numbers as much as you want. Some people want to include white women in with minorities, which I think is absolutely absurd. I think for a long time, the whites will be in the majority. But the group that is growing rapidly in this country is the Hispanic population. So get used to it. In our major cities throughout the United States, we have huge and meaningful Hispanic population. And they begin to exert some of their political influence in this area. But also people of color, including Hispanics, including Latinos, tend to have a more difficult time with a majority white population. There have been many atrocities committed on all of these minority groups, including Hispanics. Let me just give you some information. At one point, much of the United States, particularly the Southwest United States, areas such as Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, where major population areas exist, was a part of Mexico. Do you hear me? Were a part of Mexico. And we get involved in remembering historical events that tend to favor whites. But we don't color it white or black. We just distort the truth. Remember the Alamo. Oh, I had a beautiful vacation with my beautiful wife. And she had a conference in San Antonio, Texas, and I had the privilege of going with her to San Antonio. Beautiful area, very, very beautiful area. And one of the things that we visited was the Alamo, that old mission where this tremendous battle took place between Mexican Americans, and white heroes, so to speak. People call out names like Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, and some of the others that were supposed to be great. But what they don't tell you is that one of the major issues was slavery. And our white brethren wanted to maintain slavery. Much of their economy, as they saw it, was built on the backs of Black people, slaves. And the government of Mexico at one point had a Black president. Whoa, no, that's impossible. Blacks can't be president. That's what they say. Oh, but they did. Long before Barack Obama became president of the United States, Mexico had a Black president who freed the slaves. And I'll tell you something else. With the wars that exist in Mexico, Black soldiers escaped to Mexico and helped to fight against some of the major intruders, such as the Hispanics and the French. There's a whole history, there's a whole story of what went on and what continues to go on in the Rio Grande and in Texas, in that part of the country, not just Texas, but of California, Arizona, New Mexico, and these areas. The other myth is that, and some Mexicans buy into this myth, is that some of them want to be white, other than what they are. And some Hispanics are in a complete denial, and they deny the fact that they have a African heritage. Many of our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters, whom I love dealing, have a mixed background: Native American, Hispanic, and African. And much of their culture, their music, their foods, their lifestyle, very, very identical to Africans. Why? Because they are African. Because their culture includes Africa. Africans from Nigeria, from Angola. Many of them came there as slaves. but become an integral part of the culture there in that country. So if we're going to talk about and celebrate, and we do celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month because it's our heritage. America is a diverse nation. I don't care how you slice it, how you cut it, or what you want in your twisted, bigoted head. We all share in that diversity. And we as Black people are proud of who and what we are. And that's why we tend to want to know our history. We know, for example, that mankind began in our native land of Africa. We know that. Now the scientists have caught up with us. And they admit, oh, mankind derived. First man was Black. And then mankind floated to different parts of the world. The Grimaldi people in Europe, the Aborigines of Australia, and Blacks in India, the first people, the Shanghai in China, all over the world, when mankind began to flourish. The first man, the original man, was Black. Now that doesn't downgrade anybody else because he happened to be of another ethnicity or because of their environment and their cultural conditions they developed into other ethnic groups. It's all good. But just don't thumb your nose and look down your nose at people of African descent. We love all people. But in order to love all people, we must first learn to love ourselves. And in order to love ourselves, we must know exactly who we are. Today, we are fighting right-wing prejudice and racism. We're caught up in a situation where the majority of our people, after having a Black president, don't ever want to see their leadership escape them. They don't want another Black president. They think there's something great, something important about having a white president. I think there's something great and something important about having a decent president that's going to do the job, whether he's white, Black, Native American, Asian, or whatever he is. I support now the job that our current president is trying to do, who happens to be Caucasian. Our vice president happens to be African American and Indian. It's all good. It's all very, very important. But getting back to the Hispanic Heritage Month, in the country of Mexico, there is a major African population. There's African culture. There's a history of fighting slavery and bigotry in Mexico. And we have been looked down upon. When I say we, I'm talking about people of African descent in Mexico. But in spite of the ill-gotten bad treatment of some of our folks, we have risen to the point of leadership. And there are settlements and cities within Mexico that are Black enclaves. And I have a video, it's not produced by myself, but one that I have found on YouTube, and you can look at it yourself, that we're going to project. We're going to play some of that video. I want you to take a look at it. And as we're going to talk about Blacks' heritage, we're going to talk about Blacks, Afro-Mexicans or African Mexicans. Okay, let's take a look. And we're going to share some information, and then we're going to have some dialogue.
African descent go back hundreds of years in Mexico, but as a group, Afro-Mexicans are largely invisible.
Ay, tú eres cubana, ¿no? Porque también ahí dices, ota madre, el clásico cliché.
During the Civil War era, black Union soldiers in Louisiana developed a relationship with Mexicans and Mexican Americans.
After the Civil War, St. Mary's history professor Teresa Van Hoy says black Union soldiers helped to liberate Mexico from French control.
After the war, they snuck across to Mexico
to help Mexicans and Mexican Americans overthrow the French.
Eres cubana o brasileña o colombiana o venezolana, de algún otro lado menos mexicano.
In his diary of his second voyage, Columbus tells of how the natives of Hispaniola actually had given him gold-tipped metal spearheads that they said were brought by black-skinned people who had come in large boats from the south and southeast. These spearheads were covered in this metal that this alloy that the inhabitants called guanin, which dun 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 matched the metal used in spearheads made in Western Africa for thousands of years, as carried by medieval African warriors, including the Mali and the Moors. The West Africans even called this metal guanine, the same name used by the natives of Hispaniola. But nothing more was said about that. These murals are from the Temple of the Warriors at Chichen Itza. Now, they clearly feature, the color version is easier to see, but they clearly feature three races. And it's depicting black and Indian allies and a battle against white invaders. And because this mural shows that blacks are clearly fighting on the side of the Mayans, that they must have been integrated into society much longer before this painting was done. There are numerous pre-Columbian figurines with striking similarities to ancient African artwork, and they've been found in Central and South America. In southeastern Mexico, there are 18 rock statues of heads up to 11 feet tall that are facing the ocean. These people that they modeled them after must have been important. Whoever they were, they must have been important to be remembered or obeyed or worshipped. Well, Jose Megler Serrano, the archaeologist who first uncovered them, he pointed out that facial features look amazingly like African blacks, and they all display distinctive headgear or protective helmets.
Son personas afrodescendientes de todas partes, que tienen hijos y que van dejando generaciones en esta diversidad de lo que es la afrodiáspora.
Van Hoy says before slavery ended in America, slaves would flee to Mexico by following trails left in the sand by Mexican wagoneers who traded goods.
Why would slaves cross the border to seek asylum in Mexico? And the answer is clear. This is Vicente Guerrero, a Mexican man who was born from humble beginnings. Born in Mexico, his mother was an indigenous woman, and his father was an Afro-Mexican. That's right, an African born in Mexico. Vicente was born at the lowest level at the Spaniard caste system, a system designed to hinder Afro and indigenous from seeing the highest level of social status in Mexico. However, through hard work and fighting for his country, Vicente was able to transcend the caste system. He was no longer considered a color. He became a legend, the people's hero. The people loved him so much they made him the second president of Mexico. That's right, a Afro-descendant. While in office, he took steps to give the indigenous people rights and abolish slavery, the very system that he grew up under. This is why slaves fled to Mexico, so they could be free. Vicente Guerrero is a true definition of a Mexican and also represents a group that I'm looking for, the Afro-Mexican community. Tell me, when you think about Mexican history, do you think about the African contribution? The truth is, at one point, there were more Africans being born in Mexico than there were indigenous and Spanish. But those numbers have dwindled through generational mixed unions and migration. Because of this, many Mexicans are not aware of their African heritage. In this documentary, I want to learn more about Mexico's African history and hopefully find a Afro-Mexican descendant community. Join me as I embark on an incredible journey. Let's begin now.
All right, guys, so we're at the Museum of Anthropology, Jalapa, and this is the area where we're gonna see the Olmec heads. A lot of you guys have been telling me about checking out the heads, so we finally here, and I'm with my boy, Mr. Technology. 24 hours ago, he was in Bogota, and now he's here. This guy likes to travel, so make sure you check out his channel. But yeah, we're here to find out the culture about the indigenous Olmec people and just seeing something about Mexico history and learning more about ourselves as human beings. All right, so we're walking in, guys. As soon as you walk in, you can see one of the famous Olmec heads here, but we have to check in here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I wanted a guide here, but you gotta request that super early. So if you want to come here, come super early to get a guide. So this is what they have for us right here. If you come late, and literally you just scan the barcodes, and this will tell you information about what's going on. And we'll just check out what is the history of these beautiful indigenous heads right here, okay? So we'll start off with this one right here. What caught my eye when I first saw it was the nose. It's just this facial feature. It reminded me of just African features. And so I wanted to see it for myself. And just not only that, to see how huge it is. All right, so as you can see, this thing is truly colossal. And so what we'll do is we'll just scan this bar right here and see what it says here. Hopefully it can give you guys an insight.
The sculpture that creates is the 8 colossal head. It is considered as one of the most preserved colossal heads. The helmet has a band where 4 elements can be appreciated. They have been interpreted as feline claws and raptor nails. This colossal head is the only one with a semi-rounded shape, so it was possible that it was carved in one size, unlike the others that were sculpted or recycled.
And so we'll go look at some other heads right here. There's one in particular I want to see though. Hopefully we can come across it. More artifacts right here, guys. This is something I probably would have seen in Africa though. And there it is, guys. This is the one that caught my eye. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful this one is. Oh, look at it. It is amazing. This one right here is the one I've been looking for. Look at it, guys. In all its beauty.
It is the most significant and impressive of the colossal heads. This is the first one discovered in San Lorenzo Tenochtitlan, Veracruz, in 1946, during the expedition of Matthew Stirling in the forest lands of the lower basin of the Coatzacoalcos River. This sculpture was found on the slope of a ravine facing the sky, and although its conservation state is good, it suffers a fracture on the face near the right eye, which had to be restored. This character has been called the King because of its majestic appearance. It is one of the largest Olmec monuments, and its archaeological value is as great as its aesthetic value.
You can see where they actually had to fix the eye up, but I think they did a decent job. Yo, we here, let's do it! There's one called El Negro. That's the one I came for. Another one I came for. Here, this looks like one of my African brothers right here, man. Does it not or not?
Oh, it does, for sure.
I wanna say something about this piece right here, guys. And I know Mexicans are gonna be like, hey, it's a Mexican. It could be either way. But that goes to show that Mexicans and Africans have similar features. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, my thought is this: before there was labels of black, white, and stuff like that, there just was tribes of people that looked differently, and some of the people in the tribes looked like me. They looked like me. They're part of the same tribe, but they looked like me. Okay, that's how I feel about it. It just looked like me, and this right here, this guy looked like a guy I met in Haiti. Yeah. So the big lips, the nose, and when we go to other artifact places, like, or you go to any other country, you'll see artifacts, but they look like the people that's there, and the people that were here look like this. And it's just interesting how the people also look like the people from Africa. This is undeniable, guys. And I've seen the comparisons. This can be a Mexican. This could be a person of today's time in terms of a Mexican person, but it also could be a African person as well. But I think that is awesome. This right here, it should be like studied as a piece that unites us, not separates us. Because a lot of people will look at this and they'll have fights about it.
Disruptions that come up from images like this and disputes will be from the people that look nothing like that. So that would be Europeans, like they have a history, at least back in the day. I'm not talking about like people right now. This is not personal, but what I'm saying is we know in history the Europeans have come to African structures in Africa and blasted off the noses or the features that would make it undeniably known that they are African.
So it's just amazing you see this here.
Right, in full context together, not defaced.
Yo, so talking about defacing, this one they said they started using the material from the heads for other things. That's what they said. That's what the story is. But that could have been a defacing. Yes. As you can see, you know what I mean? Because it's not hard to just go in and destroying this thing and get the material you need. If you're just carving just a little bit out, it seems like you might be doing something else. And then what's up with all these holes? Well, I haven't seen them, you know.
It might be a porous material, right? So weather, water, you know, those porous materials will give up a lot of those holes.
This guy looks very happy.
There have been found, up to now, 17 colossal heads in the sites of La Venta, Tabasco, Tres Zapotes, and San Lorenzo. In the last one, 10 works of this type were recovered. The Anthropology Museum of Jalapa safeguards 7 of them, which it is the most complete corpus of this type of monuments. The sites where most of the colossal heads have been found lack of stony fields. Although all the colossal heads have features in common, such as the eyes, frowning, wide nose, and mouth, each one of them has characteristics that makes them different from one to another, such as cheekbones, the smile, and especially every headdress or helmet contains unique designs. The 10 colossal heads were found in different years, from 1946 to 1994, but almost all were in context of landslides in the ravines of San Lorenzo.
Got this exquisite work right here. As you can see, listen, this is the type of stuff you're gonna see all over the world, all right? Everybody had the same idea, recorded history on a slab of rock, and I think that's amazing. Just to see the different type of styles, and it all came from Mexico, okay? We're seeing different styles here. So that's just to show you there's different type of people, different energy. And this is what you're getting in different parts of Mexico. And so you have your Olmec type people, and you have other indigenous groups creating different type of artifacts. But this one is very impressive. Just all the different pieces of clay they used to create this. Really dope. Check these guys out. Wow. Nice. I have to apologize, guys, if I'm going too quick and not showing you as much pieces. But that gives you every reason why you should come out here. But they are closing, so I was just rushing around to see what I can get. So this is the original piece, but this reminds me of Egypt. I've never been to Egypt, but this piece right here reminds me of Egypt, of what I've seen as far as hieroglyphics are concerned. Just take a look to see. All right, this is what you get right here. All right. Just look at this. I could think that's the pharaoh right there, or something. Wow. Wow. Look at these guys are like sounding horns. It's a story that's being told here, guys. Very interesting. Each color is a little bit different. Look at this one right here. This is a guy that's deliberately painted different from this guy right here. It's no coincidence. They had the color, they could have used it on this guy right here, but he was black. I don't know if the skin represents something, but for me, I think it's different. All right, wow. All right, guys. Check it out. All right, guys, I'm actually getting kicked out. It's getting late, but just wanted to show you all these different pieces, man. They're closing the lights and everything. It's time for them guys to go home. I have plenty of time to go check it out. I got a flashlight. Check out my boy Tay.
Always ready. You got a flashlight just in case they turn the light off.
Yeah, I always got some flights.
You always got
some.
You always got time to shed some light on a couple things.
I can always light it up.
Okay, I got you. We call him Tay International, but I call him Tay Technology because this guy's always popping up with some stuff. I'm here in Yanga, Veracruz, Mexico, and I'm in front of a very interesting statue right here. Just to give you some history about Yanga, Yanga is considered one of the first free slave towns in the Americas, might even be the first. It all depends on the different dates or how you look on different dates, but we're not here to discuss who was the first. Just know this place used to be a village where a lot of runaway slaves made home, okay? And so this right here is a monument of the slaves right here, and I really like what the Mexican people did pretty much. They went ahead and gave you the history, so there's no real historian here that I've found thus far, but they went ahead to show us some of the history, and they put it in Spanish and English for those people who are coming from America trying to learn about the history. So I really appreciate it. It tells you the history about the African people living here in terms of how this town got established. It's very important. They have no choice but to keep this here. The slaves that used to be here used to run the sugarcane farms, and they broke away and formed a village right here. The history goes it was a guy from Angola, West Africa, who pretty much became the leader of all the slaves that were here, the free slaves that made this their town. His name was Yanga, and so eventually this town now is called Yanga. I don't know if it's a town or a city.
I think it's a town now, but there's also a bigger municipality. But when you look it up on Google Maps, you can look up Yanga, and it'll show this. Maybe it's Yanga. I don't know how it's.
I mean, it's surrounded by beautiful scenery. Just coming here from the Veracruz airport will take you like an hour and a half to get here. But man, beautiful scenery. This place also was called Palenque, like the Palenque you've seen in Cartagena. But there's a big difference, obviously infrastructure-wise. The inhabitants look a little bit different from this guy right here, which poses a question: are the descendants of the Yanga village still here, and do they look differently? So that's what we're trying to figure out. I'm hoping to see if I can probably bump into someone that's willing to talk to see whether or not hey, yeah, my grandma, my great grandma was super black, or my great grandfather was black, yeah, Afro, you know. I want to maybe that's possible here. Now also there's another statue, so when you look online you'll see this statue. There's another statue. I also want to check that statue out as well. Hola, yo estoy buscando ese. ¿Ellos cambiólo?
Es más para abajo.
Oh, eso, otro. Ahí. ¿Cómo se llama el parque? ¿El parque? Para allá.
Más para abajo.
Ok, gracias. Dame uno. Yeah. I found, guys, I can't believe it. I found me Mexicano.
Mexican American citizen. Mi familia está en West Virginia.
Oh, your family's American.
Yeah.
Okay. We trying to figure it out. Okay, we're close, but we're trying to figure it out.
Yo aquí trabajo, acá vivo. Yo soy escritor.
You write books?
Yeah. 11 libros, 11 ejemplares de libros.
You have 11 books?
11. El conformismo me hizo vivir acá muy bonito. Es una vida muy de paz, de tranquilidad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No me gusta la ciudad para nada.
He doesn't like bigger cities. He likes living he likes living in smaller towns. He finds a lot of peace here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool, man. What's your name, man?
Brian Brown Johnson.
Brian Brown Johnson. It was nice. Yeah, that's if I don't know American name, if I heard one. All right, my brother. Are you the only black guy here?
Realmente aquí hay un sitio donde están mucha gente de raza negra, pero ya se está perdiendo un poco el...
¿Cuántos negros aquí? ¿Tú? How many brothers and sisters here?
El original aquí negro soy solo yo.
Okay.
Only me. La mayor parte de las personas acá vienen de la raza negra.
So most of the people here in this area have probably came from the black race, probably a mixture of indigenous and Spanish people, but a lot of them are not familiar with their background. But he's black though. I just saw that. Yeah, you black.
Okay. De hecho, en mis libros, con mi sabiduría, la primera humanidad que hubo aquí en la tierra que existió, todo el ser humano viene de la raza negra. Todos. Y en el transcurso del tiempo, toda la humanidad va a volver a ser negros. Se llama Mente Abierta, buscando mi propio yo. El realismo de la vida. Descúbrete, encuéntrate tú mismo.
Get his WhatsApp number, and he says he's very seldomly touches bases on technology. Guys, I'll just do a little walk around so you can see some of the town, more than just the statue. There's another statue further this way, so we're gonna walk with our newfound friend, Mr. Johnson, Chad Johnson, and pretty much see what they have available here. That's a long story. You gotta be Venezolano to know that. Sí. ¿Tu novia? ¿Tú eres novia? No? I mean, we get to see the perspective of a brother actually living in a town, so that's kind of cool. He's fully integrated into this particular town. Nowhere he can go without people not knowing who he is, so that's kind of interesting as well. I got some food here. That's nice. ¿Qué es este? Es el centro comercial.
Free market.
What you like to eat here? ¿Qué comes aquí? Let's see what you like to eat, man. ¿Qué comida tiene aquí, mo? Duele rica.
Cabeza, barbacoa de cabeza, taco.
Oh, okay, so it's like a barbecue of head. ¿Qué tipo de cabeza? ¿Qué es este? Ah, okay. Well, okay.
Are you hungry?
No, I just wanted to see how the place was. So you still speak good English, man? You were born here?
Yo me vine acá con mi tía. Yeah.
Okay, so this guy was born in the United States, so we're getting in the picture now. All right, but he came here when he was 5. His auntie was actually married to a Mexican man, so that's how he grew up living here. And everybody knows this guy, man. There's a lot of people who are watching here are trying to integrate into different cultures, probably leaving American culture, moving into South America, Central America, and want to know how it is like for people. As you can see, this man is loved here. People are always saying, hey, what's up? And so I feel like that's a good sign. People treat you how you treat them. You know, you're a nice guy, they're gonna treat you nice, you know? You've been living here a long time. ¿Dónde está tu hijo, tu esposa?
No, I don't have it, man.
You don't have?
No me permiten tener tanto compromiso en mi vida.
Basically, he was saying he can't have a lot of commitment to his life.
Porque a mí no me permiten tener tanto compromisos ni tener la tecnología en la mano. Porque tengo comunicación espiritual.
Ay, ya entiendes.
Yeah. Sí, tengo que atender a los mensajes espirituales.
Sí.
Y por eso no puedo, por eso tengo que estar libre.
Pero yo tengo que preguntar. Si las mujeres te quieren a ti, did the women want you here?
Okay, si las mujeres me quieren a mí,
sí.
Han habido muchas, pero no acepto yo la.
Okay, so there's a lot of women that wanted him. ¿Y no problema con el color?
No, nothing. It's no problem.
No problem with your skin tone?
No.
All right, so we got that out of the way. I know that was going to be something.
Yeah, a lot of women here I like black women, black men.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
Okay, yo mueven aquí ahora, yo voy aquí. And so in August, guys, there is a carnival they have here where a lot of Afro communities come here.
Yeah.
Para disfrutar.
Ya, en el carnaval de agosto de aquí.
¿Dónde? ¿Aquí?
Aquí en Yanga.
¿Y Yanga? ¿Y cómo la gente hacen? ¿Qué hacen la gente aquí?
A bailar, a gozar fiestas.
Ah, there it is, guys. huge and in front of a huger sign that says Yanga. It's a very beautiful testament to the African inhabitants that were living in Mexico. We are in Mexico, guys. Just want to put that in perspective. If you're Mexican and you didn't know this, type down, I never knew. But here is your proof right here. This huge monument. It's not here for no reason. And let's check out if we can decipher some of the paintings behind the monument as well. I love how the government has kept this statue in really good shape. Check it out, guys. Oh man, here it is. The dude is colossal. I love the fact that he has a sugar cane in his hand, just coming out of the whole sugar farm and just breaking free. An Angolan man making it here all the way in Mexico and making a difference. Interesting. All right, so I just wanted to see if we can showcase the story here. Basically, this is a mural that depicts basically the Africans' history here in Mexico, especially in the Yanga town right here. So this is the slaves right here coming on boats. And it's interesting choice. They put the Olmec heads here. These are the Olmec heads. All right, just in case you're wondering, it's here. They painted here, not me. All right. This is a machinery they were using to squeeze all the sugarcane juice out. All right, these are the slaves right here. This is their struggle. Here you go. Coming down from this area right here. They're moving, just trying to make it. So it seems to be like some form of fight right here. And there's another story here. All right, this part was hard for me to understand, but I finally got it. So when the slaves broke free, right, they would stay in this area of Yanga, right? And what they would do to make a living is ransack supplies that were heading to Mexico City. So they would come here and take things and you see what they were doing. Interesting touch. I want to know who actually took the time to paint this. They also left some Easter eggs here, so that's very interesting. And so they would take the supplies, I guess, feed the horses, and here now this is their village coming back to their town. The village, this is how it would look. All right, this forming their own village. Looked like she's doing somebody's hair or something, fishing abundantly. And then we have this people just having a good time in the water, enjoying their time, and just a joyous celebration. And then you have here, okay, you get to this part of the history of Yanga.
The song La Bamba, if you look it up, was actually used by these people, the slaves here, to harass the government in Mexico City to give them their freedom.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So we all know that song, but didn't know that history.
Guys, so we are in Puerto Escondido. Actually, we're between Puerto Escondido, that's on the coast of Mexico, Pacific side, and we're heading to Chacagua, which is known to be a area where we can actually find Afro-Mexican descendants. And so I am super hyped. I feel like finally, after so many days, it's been how many days, man? 2 weeks. 2 weeks of us looking for the information. We finally got it, so I'm super hyped. Hit that like button for our determination, just try to give you the information, just to try to give the whole world the information. Hit that like button, greatly appreciate it, man. Anyways, let's head to the area we've been looking for. We finally made it to Chacagua Lagoon. So basically, guys, we have to catch a boat across this lagoon right here and get to the town. Just give you a perspective how we're gonna get there. We're currently here in Zapotalito area right here. We have to catch a boat here, and this boat is actually gonna take us like 40 minutes or so, cross this lagoon, over this small canal area, and then we'll go right here. All right, guys, so here we go. Shout out to the Chicago Bulls in the building. Let's go. Try to get a front eye view of what's going on. This is a beautiful lagoon. If you're wondering, a lot of people come out here
just for a tour of the different islands they have in this lagoon. So it's a very interesting place to come visit.
All right, guys, so we've been on the boat for at least a good 10 minutes.
And now we're about to go through this canal area right here. It's gonna be a really long stretch, but you get to see more of the mangrove. So this is not such a bad tour. We go as we enter into the canal area. Check it out.
Definitely worth taking the tour to just see the mangroves and the different islands.
And then if you're heading to see the Afro-Mexicans, that's not a bad deal.
Interesting how we gotta go through all this just to see them. And I know they're all over the Pacific coast of Mexico,
but just to come to this town, we gotta go through all of this.
¿Qué tipo de comida? What type of food they have here?
Aquí hay robalos, camarones, barcos, muchos venados, iguanas.
Okay, so they got iguanas, they got robalos, which I think is salmon or carp.
Camarones.
Shrimp here.
Adelante hay una isla que no hay acceso terrestre, únicamente en bote.
¿Gente vive allá?
Sí, alrededor de 100, 120 personas.
Around 120 people live on that island. It's pretty much a boat island.
This is the island he was talking about. ¿Cómo se llama?
El Corral.
El Corral.
Okay. ¿Escuela?
Escuelas, internet, centro de salud, muchos servicios aquí en la isla.
What's that? Look like an Indian with a sword in his hand. And now it's getting like Halloweenish over here. Interesting. Oh, look at that mural right there of an African woman. Oh, that looks like an African woman. Oh, okay. I think we are on the right spot. ¿Dónde estás?
De este lado es Chacagua, donde está la isla.
Okay. We just seen a woman's restaurant. She, from the far, she looked like she was Afro-Mexican. So, yes, fingers crossed. We're gonna go to that restaurant where we saw that mural in the boat and investigate there. But I can see immediately why people would come to stay here. It's just a calm, chill vibe here. Okay guys, so this looks like some form of hotel / restaurant here, but this is where I think I saw the mural, so let me check out the mural real quick. All right, it's a beautiful mural here, but this is what I was seeing when I was riding through. Hola, ¿es tú? ¿Cómo estás, amor? Ay, yo vengo aquí para hacer una video especial. Yo estoy buscando afrodescendientes mexicanos. Oh my God! What? Can I give you a hug? Oh my God! Oh my God, ¿esa es tu empresa? ¿Tú?
Sí.
Es restaurante. ¿Cómo se llama ese restaurante? What's the name of this restaurant?
Samar.
¿Tu nombre?
Licha.
Licha. ¿Y cuánto tiempo tú tienes esa empresa?
ya hace muchos años.
Muchos años, como
Ya
la...
me hice vieja aquí.
No, amor, como la 30, ¿ah?
No, 60.
Ah, 60. No, amor.
Los negros aguantamos mucho.
¿Tú vives aquí todo tu tiempo, tu vida?
Sí.
¿Tu familia en esa tierra por cuántos años? ¿100 años?
Los abuelos, los papás, los tatarabuelos.
So like really all her family, this is her island right here. ¿Y qué tienen aquí? ¿Qué está haciendo?
Ahora estoy arreglando pescado. Guachinango.
Ok. Yo voy a comer hoy aquí, ¿ok?
Guachinango.
Ok. Yo quiero conocer más afrodescendientes.
Afrodescendientes.
Aquí. ¿Tú conoces a alguien que
Sí,
pueda...?
aquí estamos varios negritos, vivimos muchos negritos aquí.
¿Dónde yo encuentro? ¿Solo caminando?
Todo el pueblo hay muchos negritos.
Ok.
Afromexicanos.
Ok, yes. Qué bueno. No more. Yo fui a muchos lugares para encontrar, pero es muy difícil por mí. Yo fui al Veracruz, no lo ven. Yo fui a Yanca.
Empieza de Puerto Escondido, Río Grande, Cerro Hermoso, Zapotalito, Chacagua, El Azufre, Charco Redondo, Pinotepa, Collante, Morelos.
Todo allá.
Corralero.
En el Pacífico.
Toda la costa aquí.
Bueno.
La costa chica en la orilla del mar.
Ok.
Corralero hicimos una película que se llama La Negrada.
Tú no eres mexicana, ¿verdad? ¿De dónde vienes, negra?
Hasta que trabajas, negro. ¿Y esto?
No es para ti.
¿Y entonces?
Entonces nada, no es para ti, se acabó.
Por negra me desprecias, no desprecies mi color, que entre perlas y diamantes esta negra es la mejor. Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, tú eres la estrella.
¿Dónde vienes tú?
Miami, Florida. Sí, por eso.
Sí, aquí estamos los negritos perdidos, olvidados.
No, ahora, no, ¿cómo no está
mira,
perdido?
Sí, pero dicen que no saben que existimos nosotros aquí los negritos.
Sí, hay muchos no saben, por eso yo ven aquí. Yo voy a comer aquí, ¿ok?
Let me get a photo.
Pescado, ¿ok? I want a big fish.
Gracias.
Nosotros vamos a caminar un poco para conocer más gente, okay? Okay, so she has some fish, seafood. We're gonna come try when we come back. Okay, we're guessing, okay? And this is her restaurant, so you already know, guys. When you come here, you gotta eat here, all right? Come see her. She was the first who we met here, and she was so opening to talk about her her life and the things she's done. So there's a mural she wants to check out. Right here. Oh, wow. Wow. ¿Quién hace este? Muy bonita. Wow. Very beautiful, guys. Wow. They did a wonderful job. I love how this restaurant is in really good shape. Oh, man. Yeah. Bonita. Just to meet her, and she was saying how her great-grandfathers, this is the line of her great-grandfathers.
Right
this
now.
really helps me understand, like, yeah, that we're in the right spot, because
I hope you enjoyed that video. You can go up on YouTube and find it and finish it. We down near the end, but we have a few things that we have to do. I hope you learned something. That's the most critical thing that's very, very, very important. And I also hope you help my Hispanic brothers and sisters, friends, to celebrate their heritage and to show them some love, show them some appreciation. They have a wonderful culture. And I don't know anyone that has contributed more to the progress in this country than our Hispanic brothers and sisters. And you know, Lebanon has a very large Hispanic population that's growing, and they're doing some really, really great things in the city of Lebanon. A couple things I want to remind you that first of all, that Maria Consuela James Chow, my daughter, has a book. And we're going to raise that book right now. Here we are, Maria James Chow, Count Each Breath. You're going to love this book. Do what you can and buy this book and reading. First of all, she's a college professor. She's brilliant. She's beautiful. And she has a tremendous, tremendous wealth of knowledge and passion and feeling to expect to our audience. And if you've ever encountered medical problems and issues, and because you're female or because you're Black, you feel that you have been treated wrongly, you're going to get a lot out of this book. Count Each Breath. I'm reading it. It's wonderful. Enjoy it. The other thing is, I'll let you know that we're still in business. You know, we're still in business. African Paradise down in the Lebanon Valley Farmers Market at 35 South H Street. Again, you take a look at this picture. There's African clothing, their artifacts, their oils, their statues, their tall giraffes, their masks, their original oil paintings, their drums. Come and see us. Help us, support us, and also just buy some quality stuff. Look at this. Look at these pictures. Look at these drums. Look at these masks. Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful place. There's Maria. There's Maria. Hey, girl. But the Lebanon Valley Farmers Market is under new ownership, and they have some wonderful people that have purchased market and doing some very, very progressive things. I am just thrilled. We have a produce section, we have new produce that have come in. We have ice cream section that's doing ice cream. We still have Candy World. We still have our poetry section. And buddies, some of the nicest, most wonderful people in the world that will give you a Philly cheese sandwich. I thought they were shucking and jiving. I said I didn't believe they could match Philly cheese sandwiches, but I've eaten a couple of their sandwiches and woo! I said, my. I think I'm on South Street. Oh, Lord, have mercy, it's good. So you come on out and enjoy. Challenge. Richard James told me to come and eat one of your Philly cheese sandwiches, and you'll love it. And over there at Turner's, they have all kinds of poultry, chicken, turkey, and they do a sub that's not bad. They do a sub that is not bad at all. It will tickle your innards. So come on down and join us in these places. Again, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. There are major populations of Hispanics in this country. You should know that there are some of the original inhabitants of this country were Hispanic. And almost a quarter of our nation was acquired from Mexico, which is an Hispanic country. So when you say these people are slipping across the border, who put the border there? Check it out. These people were residents of Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico. It was their land. So you crying because they come across the border. All I'm saying is that, yes, it's better if they come legally, but at least treat them as human beings when they do come across. And everybody has a right to life. And we don't like these brutal, sick police officers that feel like they have to beat up and destroy lives in order to make a point. We got to show somebody some love and some understanding. But you don't know the background or history. Maybe you wouldn't be such a bigoted dog and not appreciate people if you understood that those borders didn't always exist. And it was their original land in the first place. So again, hey, we love all people here. We raise up our African-American brothers and sisters, but we also respect and love and care for all people. no matter whether they're Caucasian, whether they're Asian, whatever they are, we want to get some understanding and some appreciation for them. So again, thanks a lot, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't exist. I want to thank Brother Chris Thomas and his wonderful family. They're doing some things right now, making some moves, and they're doing some great things to keep us on the air and to keep the station moving. So God bless. May heaven smile upon you and be gracious unto you. Lift up thy voice unto the hills and all the lands and say, I'll give you peace. Your friend and your brother, Richard James, or Mari Kenyatta Taraje. Hasta luego. Thank you again for tuning in to the Richard James Show. Our African and our African American programs are set up to educate you on what's going on in this world. And thank you for taking out the time to listen. Let's hear from you sometime also. So this is your neighbor and your friend signing off. Until I see you again next week and hear from you again next week. So long. God bless.